question to my robot. So this is a 30 minutes presentation. I think I don't have enough time to answer to your question here, but you can talk with my robot in the Avita booth after my sessions, all right? Okay. So let me start my presentation. Well, so my category is the humanoid avatars and the future societies. So I'm doing several things, but these 5 years I'm focusing on the avatars, right? How we can realize the computer graphics avatars, robot avatars, for supporting the Japanese societies. So this is my R&D history. 25 years ago, I have launched the new research area in robotics, that is human-robot interactions with other researchers from United States and European countries. Okay. So we focus on the two types of robot. One is a teleoperated robot, that is the avatar. The other is a fully autonomous robot. Right? So let me define the avatars again. So actually we are gradually changing the definitions of avatars. So originally, avatar is a fully teleoperated robot, but recently, of course, as you know, that we are using AI for operating the robots. So I think so it's better to define avatar like this. Now, avatar is robots or the computer graphics characters operated by either AIs or the human operators, designed to reflect the human personal and social intention. This is important. Avatar is not fully autonomous, right? So avatar need to follow the human intention or society intentions, like a human. So anyway, so there are two types of two meanings for the humanoid development. So one is, of course, that we can develop the very useful robots for our society, for our life, right? But the other is, that we can deeply understand the humanities by using robots. So actually, the human brain has many functions to recognize humans, to interact with the humans. Okay. Therefore, if we mimic the human behaviors by using the robots, that robot is going to be a test bed for understanding the human. So this is a very important point. So this is the reason why we are ready for building a human robot without market. Okay. So the 25 years they're developing the main function for the human-like robot. That is from the manipulators and sensors and the voice recognition, the image understanding. But the most serious difficult problem was the conversation. So we used to use the expert systems for conversational functions, but it was not so human-like. But thanks to the large language model, finally we could have human-like conversational functions. Then, after this, the robot, the humanoid, is going to be very human-like. So, and then the most important thing is that we can adapt to these higher level or meta level cognitive functions of humans. So we can deeply understand the human intelligence and the meaning of a body, its embodiment, and the multimodal integrations for representing some information for perceiving the many kind of information. And then we need to consider the design, the intention desire for the humanoid robot or some other autonomous robots. This is the very, very important research issues. And then we may study about the consciousness. Right? The consciousness is most difficult, but the most important, the human natures. Right? So, and I hope to understand the consciousness by using the robots that works in the societies. Of course, the consciousness is closely related to the social relationships. So let me show you a couple of videos about this robot. Okay. So this robot, this is my Android.
How can I assist you?
The Android can speak like this.
I'm eager to discuss topics ranging from robotics and AI to philosophical questions about human nature and society. Feel free to ask anything.
May I ask you about your research?
Of course. My research primarily focuses on creating robots that closely resemble humans in
Okay, well, the robot can speak like this. We are using the large language model and RAG, right? And this robot is reading almost all my books and the media interviews. And then, my student carefully designed my characters. They implemented my character to this robot, right? And the more in the important, interesting things is, so this robot is getting their own experience, right? I'm talking here, but the robot is talking in different places, right? And by using my characters, my knowledge, okay, that is well, exactly, in some sense, it's my copy, right? The important thing is that I can have my own experience, but the Android also has their own experience. Okay? So I can make my experience double by using this types of autonomous the autonomous Android following my intention. So that this is a kind of extreme Android. Right, so and in this case, the Android is recognizing the interlocutors. Who is that? Right? And then according to the identifications, the Android is memorizing the conversational experience.
ちょっと脱線しますか、
Sorry, that this is the Japanese. But the Android is speaking the very frankly, like a student.
何の話するんだっけ
And they, based on their own experience, he is talking about, some event in Expo. We were using this Android in Expo. I'm going to talk about my Expo activity later. So anyway, currently I'm focusing on the studies, the access level consciousness. It is a self, right? How we can implement the human-like self onto the Android. This is a very important challenge for me. Actually, that we have many personalities according to the situation, according to the people. Okay, we are switching our personalities. We have a personality in the office and different personality in the schools and different personality with the friends. Okay, but the self, the access level conscious, will merging the different personalities and forming the self. Right? So I believe that we can deeply study about this kind of a human level consciousness by using the Android. And this is my fundamental studies. Okay. So on the other hand, I'm trying to realize the human avatar symbiotic society by using the humanoid technologies and avatar technologies. Right. Why it is so important in Japan? So this is our expectations that within 50 years, our population is going down to we lose 30% of the people in Japan. So this is a very, very serious problem. But our situation is different from other European countries and US, United States. So it is not so easy to invite the immigrant, like foreign people to Japan for their and as the workforce. Okay? So we have a different culture, but this culture is good. So our culture is quite positive to accept the robots, the AI. But the culture is different and the language is different. We are living in an island, so that is the reason. So we need to use the AI and the robot in Japan for supporting our futures. Right? So therefore, I believe that we can develop the humanoid market or AI market in Japan first, right? And then and we can show how useful the humanoid is in the world. So, I call that kind of the future society, the human avatar symbiotic societies. So I'm trying to do the human avatar symbiotic societies in two ways. One is the academic research, the other is the business. Okay? So for the academic research, my academic research is supported by the Moonshot program. This is the largest R&D programs in the Japanese government, Japanese cabinet. Okay, we have 10 goals in this the moonshot project. 10 goals which we need to achieve by 2050. The first goal is, this is a little bit complicated explanation, but simply say that we need to realize the robot avatar, the CG computer graphics avatar for supporting the people, for the enhancing the people's the abilities. And recently, the third goal is focusing on the humanoids. I think you can get some information in this conference about the third goals. And going back to the first goal, we are trying to realize this kind of a future societies by the 2050s. So anyone, including the elderly and the people with disabilities, will be able to freely participate in various activities with abilities beyond ordinary people, while expanding their physical, cognitive, and perceptual abilities, and the perceptual, using a large number of avatars. So anyone will be able to walk and study anytime, anywhere, minimize commuting to work, and have plenty of free time. We can change the educational environment, working environment, medical services, and everyday life, right? So we can consider the many applications of avatars. So if you are interested in our project, please access to this open access. This is free, right? You can easily download. We don't need to pay the money. The title is the symbiotic avatars. Okay. So and in my project, the more than the 40 professors are working together. They are coming from the famous university in Japan, and including the foreign universities also. And we have spent 5 years. This is a 10 years project. We have spent 5 years already, and we have conducted more than 100 field experiments. So let me they show you a couple of examples. And here we are using the AI robot avatars, right, with the human operators, right? So the small, the cute robot avatar is guiding the people, and we're talking with the children by using the AI functions. This is the amusement part, right? For the simple things done by the AIs. But if the people ask the complicated questions, the professional, the operators, they will answer to that questions. So it's quite difficult to hire the many people for the amusement part, right? So probably we want to use the main AI robot avatars in amusement park. So this is another example. So this is our previous teacher ministers, right? It's better to use the very human-like the Android avatars. Therefore, the ministers, like ministers, need to have security, but security that take a cost and need a lot of people. But so if they use the avatars, they can appear anytime, anywhere. And then the last year, I was the producer, one of the producers of the Osaka Kansai Expo. And then I have built the my pavilions in the middle of that, the expo area. Yeah. Let me show you the video from my pavilions. So this is my pavilions, so that is covered by water. And in the front, in the entrance, the computer graphics avatars were guiding the peoples. Okay? And in this pavilions, we have shown our futures after 50 years. What kind of a future we want to have? Definitely, we want to use the many robots, androids, right? And then we may have some technology to upload our memories onto the android, and then we may accept the android as our social partners. So I have exhibited that kind of our futures. Unfortunately, the expo was so popular, so many people wanted to see my pavilion, but we couldn't accept, so many people, right? Well, always our pavilions were so busy. But the good news is next month, this July, we're gonna have the similar exhibitions here. So we have the museum month there, right? So we're gonna have 2 months exhibitions about my pavilions. So if you have a chance, just come to the month, the museum, the Mount Takanawa. And so that starts from the end of July and up to the end of the September. So in this pavilion, we are using the 30 mobile robots and the 20 the very human-like robot Android. Okay? They were guiding the people like this. So we were using the monkey-like robots and other the unique designed robots, right? So and this is a kind of a fully autonomous the pavilions. So in addition to these robots, we were also using this, the human, movable the humanoids. We are exhibiting this robot in Abita booth just over there, right? So, and you can talk with this robot also. Then, in the pavilion, in the entrance, we were also using the computer graphics avatars developed by my companies. So I'm running the avatar companies, and my company is making this kind of computer graphics avatars, right? So this avatar is operated by handicapped people and autism kids, right? So they are very, very happy to participate in a society by using avatars. So avatars, while they can provide some chances, right? Therefore, the autism children and some other mental damaged people, by using the avatars, they can participate to their societies. And same thing happens for the elderly, right? So we could we could verify the possibility of the avatars. And then we were also using the avatars for the security guard, right? So they usually, the avatar is working with the suspicious people by using AI function. But if something happens, right? So here, human, the security guard is, the coming. Then, based on this, the experience, I'm running the avatar business also, right? So the company name is called Abita. The Abita means life, right? The Beta means life, in Latin is in Italian, okay? So, so far in Japan, we tried to develop the robot market many times, but we couldn't have a success. The reason is that we didn't have a killer application for the robot. What is the killer applications? I thought that is avatars, right? So we need to have avatars, right, for our futures, okay? And then I have decided to develop the avatar market by using a computer graphics agent. Computer graphics agent is quite easy, right? That can appear on the smartphone and the tablet and PCs, okay? So my company is providing this kind of computer graphics avatars, the animation character-like avatars and very realistic avatars, and then the people can quickly have jobs, right? Just open the computers, right? So they don't need to have a commute. So this is very important. So this means handicapped people, for example, people using wheelchairs, they can have jobs, right? And anytime, anywhere. This is a very popular, one of the popular applications. Actually, our avatars, there is a convenience store in these areas, and they are also using the avatars, the conversation services in the convenience stores. Japanese convenience store, they have a very complicated services. Therefore, it is not so easy to make everything so autonomous. Sometimes, right, so the customer need to talk with the shopkeepers. So for such purpose, we are using the avatars. And then I think it's a time to get into the physical AI avatar development. Okay, I think I'm categorizing the physical AI into the 4 types. The first type is the autonomous, the fully autonomous robots that works in a factory. So many the companies, especially in the US, they are focusing on some robots that works in humanoid robot works in the factories. But on the other hand, the human-facing services are the harder to fully automate because the existing roles often assume that services are provided by human workers. Right? Therefore, it's better to have avatars teleoperated by humans. Okay? Maybe we can consider the three types of the human-operated avatars. The first one is the relatively simple tasks that they expected to be automated. We can use avatar for the simple tasks. So we can consider the many kind of simple tasks, the nursing care or elderly care, right? So once we can find the one simple task, we can develop that's going to be a trigger to develop the avatar market. And in the futures, we can replace that the human operators with the AI. Okay. The another example is the hazardous work avatar. The avatar works in a dangerous areas. Right? So, but this is also is going to be a real market. Okay. The next level is a more complicated tasks. So these are tasks need to they're performed by a human expert. Right? So for example, the medical doctors, if they use the avatar, humanoid avatars, so they can visit the patient house, right? And they provide the more better diagnosis services. And then another important the use is responding to the equipment failures in clean rooms using the humanoid avatars. Okay, so if something happens in the factory, that we need to send the professional people to the factories. The factory made in the foreign country, it takes time. Okay? But if we use the humanoid, right, so the expert, they don't need to take a flight. Okay? They can just remotely control the avatars and then check what's happened there. Okay? But of course, in the future, we may replace this kind of very complicated tasks with the AIs, but it takes time. Okay? And another important the application is to support the disabilities or elderly by using the humanoids. Right? So if they have the humanoids, they can have the more activities. Okay? So even if they have the severe problems in the bodies, right, by using avatars, so they can have various activities in their life. Okay. So this is also very important. So and then the more important and the interesting the application of avatar, the effect of avatar is that we can build a global avatar-based workforce network in the world. So for example, by using the time difference, the people in South America and Europe can cover the Japan's late night shift during their daytime hours. And the people can work freely across the borders without being constrained by the labor regulations of a single country. So we can be free, we can have a more freedom to work. Okay? And of course, avatar, this is a computer system. Avatar systems can monitor the operators, the health conditions, and the working activities. Okay? So this is much better. Okay. So I think this is very, very important to develop this kind of global the workforce network. And of course, the avatars, they bring us the diversity and inclusion. So using avatars, we can realize a society in which everyone recognize each other, connect with each other, and live together. Okay? So I hope to realize this kind of a human avatar symbiotic society with you in the future. So, so lastly, let me show you my Android, right? So you can have the discussion with this Android in our exhibition booth. But here, we can show you but just simple demonstrations. Hello, how are you?
Thank you. Well, good morning. I'm fine. Thank you. Tokyo feels a bit more alive today with all the...
Who are you?
Hi.
Who are you?
Well, I'm Hiroshi Ishiguro from Osaka University. I study how we can understand humanity through creating human-like robots.
Could you tell us our futures of humans and robots?
Well, let's see. When you look at robots, we're really looking at ourselves. The robot becomes a mirror showing what we value, how we communicate, even how we project emotion. As technology evolves, the boundary between human and machine becomes less clear. But in that ambiguity, we begin to see the essence of being human more vividly.
Thank you. So please come to the booth of Avita and please enjoy the conversation with myself. Right, he's my colleague. He's going to talk based on my knowledge. So thank you for your attention.
石黒先生、ありがとうございます。